Loving Sairams to all. Welcome to the weekly regional satsang. Hope everyone is doing well with Swami's grace. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing fathers of our region. Today, we have a very special guest speaker to talk to us, Dr. Jose Gomez, who is no stranger to the region. To briefly introduce Dr. Gomez, he has been a former professor of psychiatry and director of the medical school at the Technological Institute of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Dr. Gomez is a distinguished member of the Royal Society of Medicine in England and a founding fellow of the Institute for Coaching at Harvard University Medical School, and a former member of the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council. He has been awarded for 7 consecutive years since 2009 the qualification of one of the top psychiatrists in America. Dr. Gomez is a dynamic, motivational speaker and has written and co-authored 4 best-selling books. He also has been featured in Newsweek magazine, CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox, and also in Boston Globe, the Miami Herald, and in over 350 American newspapers. Above all those worldly accomplishments, Dr. Gomez appreciates the opportunity to serve the SSIO Baba organization as a regional vice president, regional service coordinator for the Southeast region, and as well as the center president of the SSIO Baba Sai Center in Jacksonville, Florida. He also had the great fortune to serve as a consultant psychiatrist at the Sri Sathya Sai General Hospital in Puttaparthi, India. Dr. Gomez, along with his wife, Carmen Gomez, currently reside in Jacksonville, Florida. It's an honor to speak with you, Dr. Gomez. Loving Sairams to you. First of all, happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much, and Sairam.
We appreciate you taking time to talk to us on the topic, when dark clouds fill your skies. Basically, we wanted to get your opinion and thoughts on what's one supposed to do when experiencing internal and external pressures. With that, I would like to first ask you, so you were born and brought up in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Please share with us when and how you first heard of Swami, and how was that introduction?
Yes, very good, very important question. Let me to begin by saying that at that time, I was very successful in those things that people call success in life. I had a good job, I had a good profession, I had many material things, but I was feeling very empty inside. And because of this emptiness, I was looking for something. I didn't know Baba at that time, but I was looking for something that will make me feel more spiritually oriented. So since I like to read books, of course, the next thing to do was to go to the bookstore. And when I was in a bookstore, I saw a book on the shelves with the title, A Catholic Priest Meets Sai Baba. That was attractive to me because I was planning to be a Catholic priest before I decided to go into medical school. So I took the book down and I glanced through it and I thought, wow, yeah, this is very interesting. I need to know and I need to learn more about this Sai Baba person. I didn't know anything about him. So I bought the book, took it home, and you know what? I just couldn't put it down the whole night. I was reading all night long because I found Sai Baba's life and teachings so interesting that I couldn't leave it alone. Actually, Even the following day, I had to go to work. I had to go to my office to see patients. And I took the book with me to my office. And in between patients, whenever I had 5, 10, 15 minutes in between patients, I took the book out of my drawer and I read a little bit of it. I just couldn't put it down. It was so great. So the main thing that made me think about while reading that book was why I wanted to be a priest. Actually, I wanted to be a Jesuit. I went to a seminary, a Catholic seminary, and while I was there in the seminary, I went to the principal, the head of that institution, and I very naively, very innocent, very honestly, I asked him, hey, I have a book that talks about reincarnation. And after reading that, I think that might be true. I feel that I believe in reincarnation, that people come to life many times, not just this one time. So needless to say that the principal of that place told me, if you believe in reincarnation, which is not a Catholic belief, then you cannot be in this place. You need to leave. So I was so impacted by this decision that I didn't know what to do. Should I resign to the idea that reincarnation is nothing important, nothing that I should believe in? Or should I leave the place which I was so close and attached to? So I decided to leave the place. I couldn't believe that reincarnation was a false belief or notion. So when I left this place, I thought, what will be the next thing that I can do in order to be helpful to people? Since I cannot be a priest, since I cannot be a Jesuit, what I would like to do is to do something similar where I can help people psychologically and spiritually. Therefore, this is the first time when I thought about, well, if that is the case, maybe I need to go into psychology or psychiatry. In that way, I can help people by helping them spiritually. And this is when I decided to read that book. And after reading that book, I had the urge, I had the need of visiting Puttaparthi. I needed to know more about this Sai Baba person. So I thought the best way to do it will be to go to the place where he's living, Puttaparthi, India. So on a Guru Purnima day, actually in 1997, that was the very first time when I went to Puttaparthi, India, to see Sai Baba. And that was approximately 1 year after I read that book. I was so naive and so innocent in thinking that if I go to India, I will for sure have an interview with Satya Sai Baba. Because this is what you read in all the books that people have written. They have written books because they went to India, they saw Satya Sai Baba, and they wrote books. So I thought, well, I go to India and I'll see him. Of course, that didn't happen. I went to India and I didn't have an interview. And because I didn't have an interview that I thought so sure was going to happen, I became disappointed. I became discouraged. And I decided I will never come back to India. I will never come back to see Satya Sai Baba. And I left India, a kind of sad because my expectations of personally talking to Satya Sai Baba didn't happen. And when I was in the lobby of the hotel where I was staying there in India, a gentleman that I have never seen before, that I didn't know at all, came to me and he asked me, would you like to come into my room? I hesitated. I didn't know this gentleman. I don't know if I should come to his room. But nevertheless, I took a chance and I went to his room. While I was in his room, this gentleman, without me saying a word, started talking a lot about all the questions that I had in a piece of paper that I was going to ask Satya Sai Baba. I couldn't understand why this gentleman, who didn't know what were my questions for Swami, was talking and giving me all the answers of those questions. That was unbelievable. Of course, a few days later, I realized that that gentleman had to be Swami himself, who was providing all the information that I needed for all of those spiritual questions that I had. Being that the case, I thought, I need to go to Puttaparthi. That was the first time. As I said, it was in 1997, Guru Purnima Day. I had to go to Puttaparthi. I need to meet personally this Satya Sai Baba. So I did. And what happened was that when I was in the hospital, I was really interested in having the opportunity of serving there. I didn't know anything about the hospital, but I wanted to serve there. I wanted to be a visiting doctor in the Satya Sai General Hospital so I can provide my counseling and my advice to those people who were there sick. And as you probably know, and a lot of people know, Indians are not very much interested in seeing psychiatrists. They go to a priest, yes, but psychiatry for Indians and in India is something that is not much there. So I thought, if I can have the opportunity to talk about my experiences as a doctor in India, maybe I can have the chance to be closer to people. So let me share with you. Let me share one experience.
Yeah, Dr. Gomez, yes, definitely, as we know, I mean, it's a very interesting observation that you shared, that the meaning or the purpose of psychiatry is very different based on the culture, religion, the place, and all that. And it's interesting that you brought up that not many people in India really see going to psychiatrist as a normal process of healing or getting better. I'm really interested to see how you fill that bridge or establish that bridge between the cultures. You wanted to be close to Swami, and you wanted to be there serving his the place and organization and Puttaparthi. And here you get a beautiful opportunity to serve at the General Hospital as a consultant. And did it not occur to you that, well, this is totally strange. I don't speak their language, and how do I do this?
Yes, very good point. Always, when I was in General Hospital in Puttaparthi, they provided with a translator, someone who could speak English, of course, which was the language that I could understand. And they had also people who had other languages. As you know, in India, there are so many different languages. I don't know how many, but I know a lot of languages. So they spoke to me and they had conversations in English. And what I would like to share with the viewers next, it's about a very interesting experience that happened to me when I was dealing with a patient and trying to help him with his marriage problems. He came to me very depressed, sobbing, actually crying at times, and telling me that he had so many difficulties in his marriage that he didn't know what to do, that he thought that the only solution to that situation was to get a divorce. And I told him, oh, no, wait. I might have something that I would like to suggest to you, and it might be something that it will be very helpful in your marriage. So I talked to him a little bit about marriage, counseling, Baba's words about those teachings. And finally, I gave him some pills that I found in the hospital. Those pills, I had no idea what they were, but in the label, it says depression, for depression. So I thought, well, if these pills, whatever they are good for depressed people, maybe I can give it to this gentleman and it will help with his marriage problems. So I did. I gave it to him, and those pills were pills made with vibhuti. And right after he took the first 2 or 3 pills, a miracle happened. Immediately, he felt so good that he was not feeling depressed anymore. He became very optimistic that he could find some ways to work his marriage problems somehow. And he held me, he gave me a big hug and said, Dr. Gomez, you not only saved my marriage, but you also saved my life, because I don't know how it would be for me without my wife. So I felt very, very happy with that response from this unknown gentleman whom I didn't know. So after that, I let him go, and I followed him same way going out of the hospital. And I found a packet with the pills that I gave him that had been thrown in the front of the hospital by the door. Apparently, he didn't feel he needed those pills anymore. Medical pills, antidepressants pills. He felt, I don't need these. Very likely throw it in on the floor and just left the hospital with vibhuti. A few days later, a couple of days later, he came back looking amazingly different. I couldn't recognize him. He was so happy, so changed, that I had to take a second look and say, yeah, that's him. I'm sure that's him. So he told me, Dr. Gomez, you have no idea what this vibhuti is doing to me. I am feeling so happy all the time that I cannot believe this is because of this vibhuti. So after saying that, he said, I want you to make sure that whenever you give a talk and whenever you talk to anybody, you mention to people what happened to me with vibhuti. So people will be inspired, motivated to use vibhuti in their lives to solve problems in their lives. So I did. And so this is why I am now talking about vibhuti. Actually, I have to admit also that one time I was in a nursing home, and this is what I do most of the time. I go to nursing homes to visit sick old people who are there. And one time, after 2 or 3 visits to a particular nursing home, one patient held my hand and said to me, Dr. Gomez, are you a priest? I said, no, I'm not a priest. I am a doctor, I'm a psychiatrist, but not a priest. Why are you asking me that? I don't know. And then he told me, because you don't look like a doctor. You spend so much time with patients, and most doctors don't do that. Most doctors who come here, they see us very quickly, say a few things very quickly, and leave. But you come here, you spend time with us, you talk about our lives, you give us a lot of advice, and that is not typical of most doctors. So during that point of time, I thought, well, I feel I need to do that because being a doctor means trying to know as much as I can about my different patients. I don't know if you have any other questions, or I can go into something else, Giridhar.
No, this is definitely on the track that we really wanted to hear from you today. As you pointed out, I couldn't help uh, appreciating the power of Swami's words is so much more than the pills or anything else. The teachings itself, if in case they are conveyed with love and sincerity and care, they can heal all the problems in the world. And the experience that you shared clearly demonstrated that. And I'm glad that you started to talk about how spirituality influences everything that we do in our lives. Of course, being in Swami's fold, knowingly or unknowingly, even our outlook towards the world changes, our attitude changes, sometimes small, sometimes big, but it changes. Changes are bound to happen. We definitely want to hear a lot more of your experiences on how Sai spirituality influenced your practice of treating patients. If you can give us specific examples, share beautiful stories or your own personal experiences. Would love to hear more of those.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime that I have a patient with psychological problems, I always try somehow to use Baba's teachings to help them to understand better how they can deal better with those problems. That was easy to do in India. In India, when I was in the hospital, in the general hospital, it was very easy to talk about Baba and to talk about his teachings because everybody was very receptive there. However, after I came back to America, after I came back to Jacksonville, where I live, it was rather difficult and unusual to be able to introduce Baba's teachings into my practice. Let me mention that in my office, I have a big, really big Baba's picture in the office. And whenever anybody comes to see me looking for advice and they see the picture, I get all kinds of questions and comments. The most unusual ones are like sometimes people say, "Is that you when you were younger?" I don't know how people can see Baba looking like me when I was younger. I don't think that we look the same at all in any ways. But people want to say something, anything, even if it is not very appropriate, to open the door, to open the channel for me to talk about that person who is there and his teachings. And then I do. That is a good opportunity for me to start talking about Baba's teachings. I usually talk about things that happens to people in their lives as a way of introducing myself and Baba's teachings into the conversation. Here in America, it's a kind of hard, as I said before, to talk about this kind of a spirituality that is so common in India. Actually, if I talk too much about spirituality, people might think that I want to recruit them, convince them to come to my beliefs, which is not the case. I know that Swami is the one who recruits people. None of us has anything to do with getting people to Swami. Swami himself gets people to him, whoever he wants, whenever he wants, in whatever ways he wants. He's the one, not me or anybody else. And we have to be very clear on that, because I remember so vividly when I was at the bookstore and that book came on my head, flying from the shelves to my head, literally flying because I was not that close to the shelves, and landed on my head. The book, A Catholic Priest Meets Sai Baba. That was Baba's way to introduce me to him. Very unusual and a little bit painful way, because my head was hurting a little bit after that book landed on my head. But nevertheless, that was his way. I am sure that he wanted to make sure that I saw the book, that I get the book, that I read the book, and then I get into his teachings and into him himself. I would like to make a couple of comments about how to deal with children who are interested, children or young adults, who are interested in learning more about Satya Sai Baba and his teachings. So let me talk a little bit first about children. And let me say this. We need to always remember that the first thing that parents or adults need to do to help their children in a spiritual way is that parents and adults, they need to learn how to manage their own stress. Because if parents or adults are in a stressful situation, children will know that. Children are very perceptive of we adults. And when we are under stress, definitely they will know and notice that. Therefore, the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we have the minimum amount of stress in order to better and successfully deal with our children and other children. Second thing that we need to keep in mind, other than not having so much stress, is to keep in mind that we teach to children with our own examples, with our own life. This is what they see. Our children in our homes, they see our lives. They see how we live. They see what we do. They see what we talk about. And they experience how we think about different things in life. Knowing that, we have to make sure that our life, our example, our daily life is according to Satya Sai Baba's teachings. That we are living our lives according to what Baba says. You know, I have seen this several times, and it is so unfortunate. Sometimes Baba devotees will come to me in my consult, in my office, and they will say, I don't know why, Dr. Gomez, but you know what? I think I am a good person. I think that I am living a good life. However, I don't know why my children are behaving so much against Baba's teachings. They are against Baba. They don't like Baba. They don't want to follow or be interested in Baba's teachings, and I just don't know why. And you know what happens most of the time in cases like that? Those parents or adults are just talking about Baba's teachings, but not living Baba's teachings in their own homes. And children can see that. Children can realize that they are talking about one thing and doing something else totally different. And when that happens, then there is disharmony, there is discord at home. So the first thing that I tell parents in situations like that is, let's look into the way you live your life at home. Let's see if it is in agreement with the way Baba wants you to live your life. And sure enough, as soon as we start getting details about the way they live, we realize that they are not living about the way Baba wants them to live. For instance, let me give you one example very quickly. Parents tell the children, you always have to tell the truth. One of the main teachings of Baba, always tell the truth. And then the phone rings. And then the child is told, go to the phone and answer. Please tell them that I am in the bathroom, that I cannot come. Is that the truth? They're right there. They're sitting there watching TV, and they're telling a lie to their own children to go to the telephone to tell a lie. So that kind of contradiction will teach the children that whatever they learn from parents might not be that important, might not be something worth to live by. Because parents are not living by that. Parents are telling one thing and doing something else totally different, actually something totally contrary. So the examples that comes from parents, the life that parents live is the most important way to teach children about Swami's teachings. So let me stop in here for a quick minute, and then we can continue.
It's very, very powerful, Dr. Gomez, what you mentioned. We have to live by example as parents. And it's interesting that you actually chose that specific example of children where SAI parents may find, unfortunately, in some cases, why their children are not following the same tradition or going to the SAI centers. We do hear from time to time, unfortunately, that, yeah, he used to go to SSC. Yeah, she used to be very active in all these, programs and everything. But now they moved on and they became young adults and they joined colleges. They are living in a different place. So the distance, the separation started to happen. But more than that, what you said about how parents must be the first ones to lead by example, show through their conviction in their everyday actions, live truthfully to Swami's teachings, and automatically children will observe that and they will follow the same tradition. I don't think it could have said in any better way than what you just said. This is one significant advice that you have given for the benefit of not just children, but also for all parents. I also request you to focus a little bit more on the children, especially, the pressures. Sometimes they come from outside, and also internally they feel some pressures because of education, the challenges, the deadlines, and peer pressures and all those. So what would be your advice to children who are seeing these external factors and internalizing those pressures? Yes, parents are teaching something, and parents are also, let's say, following a path, spiritual path. What is your advice to children who are experiencing these pressures, whether academic or peer pressure?
Sure. Let me ask one question before I answer your question. Let me ask one question to the viewers. How aware are the viewers, how aware are you of what your children are watching all the time in their either computers or phones? They are all the time busy watching something. Do you know what is it? Are you aware of what is it? And sometimes if you were aware of what they are watching, you will be horrorized. It is horrible sometimes what they are watching. Not only totally contrary to Baba's teachings, but something contrary to the most common decent morals. And they are innocent, they don't know. And those who are producing those programs, they know how to get the interest of the children to put in their minds dirty things which are good for nothing. They know how to do that. The only way to stop that happening is if you check as often as you can. What is your children viewing when he's watching TV or when he's watching the monitor or, computers, all of that? Because as I said before, most parents don't. Unfortunately, most parents don't. And it's not because they don't care about the well-being of their children, but because they say to me, Dr. Gomez, I am too busy. I have a job that keeps me very busy. I am too busy in the duties of my home, of my house. I am too busy to raise up my children. I'm too busy. Remember, if you are too busy to become aware of what your children are being exposed to, you will regret it. Because very likely they are getting ideas, they are getting messages, they are getting teachings which are totally contrary to Baba's teachings, which are not good at all. And you need to be aware of that. And when you see your children watching something that is not good for them, you have to step in. You have to tell them, look, son or daughter, that is not a very good thing to view. All of that you are watching now is really, really bad for you and for anybody else. It is something that Baba would not approve. You need to change your channel. You need to go into something else. But please don't watch that because it's going to do no good for you. And be firm about that. And keep checking what they are watching all the time, or most of the time at least. So let me make a little pause here again.
That's very beneficial and powerful again advice. I'm still in shock listening to that particular side of our lives. And I also wanted to get your advice on how do parents approach the process of correcting children? Do you approach them saying that, no, this is wrong, and you take away things? Or is there a good way that you as a professional recommend conveying the message that it will leave a lasting, everlasting impression, that even when they walk out of their homes, that message continues with them?
Yes. Very good question, Giridhar. We need to approach children, our own children, with love. A lot of love. That's the most important thing. If they sense that we are punishing them by not allowing them to watch some programs, if they take it as a punishment, then believe me, they will watch it anyway, somehow, somewhere, sometime. Why do I say that? Sometimes children will go to the internet to watch things in their laptop, in their other media. You know when? When parents are sleeping at night. You think they are sleeping also around 2, 3, 4 a.m.? Sometimes they might. Many times they don't. They are not. What they are doing is watching those things that you forbidden them to watch during the daytime. So they watch it anyways. So you have to be very clear in explaining to children why those things are bad for them to watch, hoping that they will understand. And because by doing so, they will not try to find other times when they are secretly watching things when you are not aware.
Very good. Also, Dr. Gomez, when Swami says, hands in society, heads in the forest, as a psychiatrist, how do you see that quote? I will also just ask the question, but you can take time to go into other aspects also, other quotes. What are some of your favorite quotes of Swami that you keep yourself reminded of, thinking of those quotes in your daily life and also in your practice? But starting with hands in society and heads in the forest, please.
Yeah. Hands in society and head in the forest means that we have to be using our hands, means that we have to be doing things in society, in our daily life, in our home, in our work. We have to be doing things there that will be according to Baba's teachings. But if we try to do things according to Baba's teachings in our daily life, but our head is not in the forest, meaning our head is not into Baba's teachings, that is the forest, Baba's teachings, then whatever we are doing in our daily life will not have the same meaning, will not have the same impact in our job, in our family, anywhere we are trying to do something. Therefore, it is very, very important that whatever we're teaching, whatever we are preaching, we feel it deep here in our heart as well as in our heads. Because otherwise it is just talking. And that talking doesn't make any impact in anybody, including ourselves. So let's try to be honest and very sincere when we are saying that we have to live in a certain way in our home, in our jobs, in society in general. Because if we are sincere and we try to live the way Baba wants us to live, then we can influence our family in a positive way. We can influence our society in a positive way. And this is, after all, what Baba wants from us. This is why Swami came down to earth to teach us how we can be a good person, a better person, so we can influence society and people can become more of a good person and better person. And by doing that, by doing so, then society will be little by little transformed into the society that Baba wants us to have. Because after all, Baba doesn't need anything. We all know Baba doesn't need anything. As God, he has everything that is needed. But we need a good society where we can function, where we can become a better person. We need that, we, not Baba. So we have to make every effort in every possible ways to transform, to help our society, our home, our friends, our work, to transform them into the place that will help us to express the divinity that we really are. Because this is what we really are. Yeah, we have a human being body. Our body is the body of the human being, but our soul is a divine thing. Our spirit is a divine something that we need to become aware somehow, somewhere, sometime. Become aware that this is what we are, divine people, divine beings, not what this body represents, a human body.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Gomez. Currently, we are seeing a lot of stressful conditions out there, like COVID pandemic. What's your advice to the psychiatrists in managing that stress, whether it is the stress is coming into the house because we're not able to do things the way we used to, or it is affecting other aspects of life, employment, whatsoever, uncertainties. This goes back again, ties back with the title for the topic, When Dark Clouds Fill Your Skies. What's your advice?
Yes. We are told all the time, all the time, to stay home. When we have a pandemic like that, when we have a virus going around and affecting a lot of people, stay home. Some people do that. Other people don't. And I see in the hospital, I see here in Jacksonville, most of the people going to the hospital, most of the people being hospitalized, taken inside the ambulance and going to the hospital, are those who didn't pay any attention to the rule of stay at home. There is no need for you to be out and around, just running around on the streets, visiting people, going places that you don't need to, that there is no need to. However, we all know that to stay home, for some people, it's a very difficult thing to do. We all know that. Because our natural tendency is to be with other people, to communicate with other people, to exchange with other people, to spend time with other people. That is our natural tendency. And this is what we all tend to do. But remember, sometimes we have to overcome our natural tendencies. We have to go beyond of those things that we want to do because we know they're not healthy. We know they're not good for society or for ourselves. And we have to make an effort to stay home. When there is a pandemic, when there is a virus going on everywhere, we have to make an effort to avoid being contaminated by that virus. And the only way to do that is trying to stay home as much as we can, as often as we can, as long as we can. Because as I said, going around, being with other people, give us a very good chance to get contaminated. Hey, we don't know most of the time who is contaminated if they don't have signs or symptoms. We don't know. We don't know that person who is coughing next to us, if that person has the virus and is coughing right in front of us, polluting, contaminating all of that space in front of us, so we get sick. We don't know. So best thing to do is, unless you really, really have to, very badly, stay at home and avoid being contaminated by any virus, by any disease. There are plenty of them going around, not just the COVID virus, but any disease. So my last suggestion about that particular point is, it's not easy staying home, but it is necessary, very important to stay home when we have any virus going around.
Dr. Gomez, thank you for that. Also, I would like to hear from you when we stay home. I'm going to compare staying home to staying still or limiting our activity, physical activity. So how one must make use of the time in connecting with God, or what are your recommendations on how we must shift our focus from pandemic, confusing, and troublesome times, what's your advice in that area as a side duty, what do you recommend?
Yes. Two things. There are two ways to use our time at home when we cannot go out, by doing two things, two wonderful things: praying and meditating. Because prayers and meditation are two very, very important things that we need to do when we're at home in order to gain consciousness, awareness, to know what we are. As I said before, that we are souls, that we are spirit, that we are not this human body. And if we do meditation on regular basis, if we pray to Swami or pray to whatever God might be the God of your choice, but praying to a superior being, along with closing our eyes, going inside, internalizing our mind by meditating, is something that will bring so much fruit, so much benefit to ourselves and those around us, that it is amazing, just simply amazing. I am saying this, and I want to make an invitation. I want to invite every one of those viewers who are watching this presentation right now and who are going to watch it later on, a recording. I want to make an invitation. If you don't pray on regular basis, if you don't meditate on regular basis, start doing that and see what happens. Just see what happens. You will be in shock how good you feel after you pray and after you meditate. Some of you already know that, because I know some of you are already praying and meditating on a regular basis in your homes. But you know what? Some of you, unfortunately, are not praying or meditating every day on a regular basis. And believe me, you don't know what you are missing. You don't know of the beautiful things that can happen in your life after you start the day with a meditation or a prayer or both. I have seen that in my own life time and time again. Whenever I start my day, which I try to do every day, with a meditation or a prayer, the beautiful way how my day goes is unbelievably fascinating and great. And you will find that out too. Just, hey, do that. Do this. Don't believe to me. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Think what Dr. Gomez is saying might be true or maybe it's not true. I don't know. Don't believe me. But I challenge you to find out whether this is true or not. I challenge you to find out if starting the day with a prayer or a meditation or both will make a big difference in your day. I challenge you to do that. If you do that, I know, and I am challenging you, totally happy and satisfied with what is going to be the results, because I know, because I have done that so many times, that the results are going to be wonderful. I know that your day, that particular day that started with a prayer on or a meditation, will be fantastic. You will remember me. I challenge you to do that. Do that, and then if we have the chance to talk again somehow, somewhere, you will tell me that your day went amazingly differently. It was a day full of peace and happiness. That will be your day, full with peace and happiness. And that can happen when you begin your day, when you start your day with a prayer or a meditation. Please do that.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Gomez. That's a very, very useful suggestion, and I greatly appreciate that you sharing with us. I guess in addition to the prayers, I was thinking sometimes we may be staying at home but watching TV, even watching news of all the disturbances in society that also will negatively influence or add pressure. So once again, I am thinking that resorting to meditation and prayer are the best means of serving yourself and your family and society in large. But I leave next few moments in your hands to tie it all up and bring us to closure.
Absolutely. I would like to ask a question of the viewers like you. Think for a moment. You don't need to answer to me, but just think for a moment for yourself. How do you spend most of the time, the majority of your time, when you are at home? What are you doing there? What do you do there? Think about it. What do you do at home when you are there? How do you spend that time? That is very, very, very important. Because you know what? Unfortunately, the way most people tend to spend their time when they are at home is not the way that will bring benefits, spiritual benefits, happiness, or contentment. Why? Very simple. People tend to engage when at home in menial, not very important things, things that sometimes are even contrary to what Baba says. And by doing that, they might think it's okay. They might believe it's okay. When no, it is not okay. Being at home is a wonderful opportunity to do some things that we don't have the chance to do because we are being so busy with our work or our families that we don't have the chance to do some things. So whenever you have the opportunity to be more spiritually oriented by doing things so spiritually oriented at home, please, by all means, go ahead and do it. Don't just think, I am at home, I'm going to have a good time by watching TV, who knows what in TV, or I'm going to be happy at home by doing nothing, or by doing some housework, cleaning, cooking, whatever, if it is a lady or whoever does that at home, because this wonderful opportunity that we have right now because of this virus going on to have to stay at home is a great time to be able to do some of those things that we wanted to do, but we don't have the time when there is no virus, when we're so busy outside doing so many other things. So please take it seriously and consider doing something.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. We can't thank you enough for sharing such most valuable life lessons and your experience and advices. Uh, Life is not without struggle. Even in your own example, you were presented with circumstances or situation to make a choice between following your religion, Catholicism, to being a Catholic, or moving on to the new passion or new truth, or the avenues that you discovered. And it is beautiful the way you described how the book actually came flung and found you. Also, another thing that I noticed from your talk was be prepared for disappointments. But when the feeling is sincere, Swami will come to you, just like the way he sent his messenger, or he himself came and knocked on your hotel room door and answered all your questions. So with sincerity and the drive in one's heart, the desire, strong desire, sincere desire, Swami will answer all the questions. And the advices that you have given for parents, I don't want to call it as students or SSE or children. Those advices are actually for parents, how to really talk the talk, walk the walk. If we do that sincerely, everything else will fall in place. Very, very valuable insight that you have shared on how we must communicate with love and compassion and sincerity. Uh, this has been a very informational and extremely beneficial session. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. May Swami continue to bless you, to give you more and more opportunities to share your thoughts with more and more of SI devotees and everybody in general. Thank you again. I appreciate that, Dr. Gomez. Love you, Sai Rams.
Do your duty.
నా డ్యూటీ నేను చేస్తున్నాను.
I do my duty.
మీరు మంచిగా చెడ్డా నేను డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ చేయటం లేదు.
Swami doesn't discriminate whether you are good or bad.
మంచి.
All are good to Swami.
కానీ నీ డ్యూటీ నువ్వు చెయ్యి.
But you do your duty.
స్వామి డ్యూటీ చేస్తున్నాడే. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు చాలా మంది పిల్లలు? ఏమైనా మీ తండ్రి చాలా కష్టపడి మిమ్మల్ని చదివిస్తున్నాడు, ఎంతో పని చేసి శ్రమించి డబ్బులు సంపాదించి మీకు వెళ్ళలేదు. ఈ డ్యూటీ తండ్రి తాను చేయవలసిన డ్యూటీ వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడు?
Swami is doing so much for you. Today, what are we doing? Your father is struggling hard to help you, to finance you. But you say, it is his duty. Father is doing his duty as father. But as a son, or you doing your duty as a son? When father does, you say it is father's duty. Having given you birth, having looked after you, having fostered you, should not do your duty. You look only in one direction, but not the second side.
Sairam, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and the Swami inside all of them. Sairam.
Happy Father's Day, everyone!
Sairam, happy Father's Day to everybody, and thank you to Swami for always being our spiritual father.
Sairam, happy Father's Day!
Sairam, happy Father's Day to all the amazing fathers out there. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Sairam, happy Father's Day, Swami. Happy Father's Day to you. Daddy, happy Father's Day. I love you.
Sairam, we're wishing everyone a happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, dearest Swami. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing dads around the world.
Sairam, happy Father's Day. I love my dad so much because he is full of compassion, love, and strength. Whenever I need him, he's always there for me. Thank you, Swami, for all the love and blessings. One day is not enough to thank you. Happy Father's Day, Swami. Thank you, and Sairam.
Happy Father's Day, Nana. You're the best father in the whole world. You gave me a good opportunity to learn about Baba and learn about how to serve people and how to show love and kind, every 5 human values to the whole world. Thank you, Nana, for joining me to SSC class to learn everything that is good and about Swami. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Swami. I love you, Nana. I love you, Swami.
Father, we adore you. We lay our lives before you. How we love you. Swami, we adore you. We lay our lives before you. How we love you. Happy Father's Day.
Hello, this is Siddish, and I just wanted to say a quick Happy Father's Day to my Appa because he's like a hero for me because I always stand up for him and he's such a big role model. Also, I wanted to say Happy Father's Day to Swami too. Thank you for listening. Saram.
Happy Father's Day, Nana. I enjoy playing tickles and shoulder rides with you so much. Swami, you're the father of the whole world. A big Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to Leela. Happy Father's Day to you. Thank you, fathers, for giving me this father.
Thank you, Baba. You are my father. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, dear Swami. We are so blessed to be your children. We love you so much, Swami.
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात् 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
सुन्दर सुन्दर विनायका, सुन्दर विनायका। कोटिहर विमल गजानन कोटिहर विमल गजानन कोटिहर विमल गजानन कोटिहर विमल गजानन सकल विघ्न हर साई 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 गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन सुंदर सुंदर विनायका सुंदर विनायका शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका विघ्न कोटिहर विमल गजानन कोटिहर विमल गजानन सकल विघ्न हर साई गजानन सकल विघ्न हर साई गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन जय जय गणेश जय श्री गणेश 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 सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
Sai Ram, 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 गाएगी सदा सुबह शाम, गाएगी कहे तुझे जानकी रामा, कोई पुकारे राधे श्यामा, कोई कहे तुझे जानकी रामा, कोई पुकारे राधे श्यामा, हमरे लिए तुम साईं हमरे लिए तुम साईं भगवान, गाए गीत सदा सुबह और शाम, गाए गीत सदा सुबह कोई कहे तुझे जानकी रामा, कोई पुकारे राधे श्यामा, हमरे लिए तुम साईं भगवान, गाएगी सदा सुबह शाम, गाएगी सदा सुबह साईं राम, साईं राम। भुवन बांधवा साई भगवान, भुवन बांधवा साई भगवान, मात पिता बंधु सदा तुम हो भगवान, मात पिता बंधु पिता बंधु सखा तुम हो भगवान, ईश्वर भी तुम हो अल्लाह नानक तुम हो, 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 प्रभु येशु तुम हो महावीर तुम हो, प्रभु येशु तुम हो महावीर तुम हो, बुद्ध देव तुम हो मेरे प्राणनाथ तुम हो, बुद्ध देव तुम हो मेरे प्राणनाथ तुम हो, पिता बंधु सदा तुम हो भगवान। ईश्वर भी तुम हो, अल्लाह नानक तुम हो। प्रभु यीशु तुम हो, महावीर तुम हो। बुद्ध देव तुम हो, मेरे प्राणनाथ तुम हो। साई राम साई राम साई राम साई राम साई राम साई राम साई भुवन बांधवा साई भगवान। मात पिता बंधु सदा तुम हो भगवान। दया सागरा करुणा करा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। जगदीश्वरा साईश्वरा। जगदीश्वरा साईश्वरा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। भुवनेश्वर अखिलेश्वरा। भुवनेश्वर अखिलेश्वरा। गुण गंभीरा साईश्वरा। गुण गंभीरा साईश्वरा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। जगदीश्वरा साईश्वरा। दया सागरा करुणा करा। भुवनेश्वरा अखिलेश्वरा। गुण गंभीरा साईश्वरा। गुण गंभीरा साईश्वरा। दया सागरा
When dark clouds fill your skies, hiding sunshine from your eyes, say his name, say his form, hold on. When darkness fills your skies, hiding sunshine from your eyes, say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sai Ram, say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on. Say his name, when you feel say nothing enough, say his name, say his form, hold on. Things are getting rough when you feel say nothing enough, say his name, say his form, hold on. And when life seems so unfair and no one seems to care, say his name, say his form, hold on. Life seems so unfair and no one seems to care, say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Keep a smile and say I can. Love and serve your fellow man. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Keep a smile and say I can. Love and serve your fellow man. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, when dark clouds fill your sky, hiding sunshine from your eyes, say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Hold on. When things are getting rough and you feel still enough enough, say his name, say his form, hold on. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. And when life seems unfair and no one seems to care, say his name, say his form, hold on. Keep a smile and say I can. Love and fellow man. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Love and fellow man. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Hold on, Sairam. Say his name, say his form, hold on. Hold on, Sairam. Dark clouds fill your sky, hiding sunshine from your eyes. Say his name, say his form.
मंदर गिरिधर मदन मनोहर मंदर गिरिधर मदन मनोहर मंदर गिरिधर मदन मनोहर मंदर गिरिधर मदन मनोहर मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर 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 गिरिधारी गिरिधारी गोवर्धन धर गिरिधारी 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 माधवा मधुसूदन मंदर गिरिधर मदन मनोहर। अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर। अवल अल्लाह नूर पाया, कुदरत के सब बंदे एक नूर से सब जग उपजिया। कौन भले सो मंदिर, कौन भले सो मंदिर। राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो, राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो, राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो, साई नाम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो, साई नाम बोलो, राम हरे साई नाम बोलो। साई रामा परम दयाला, साई रामा परम दयाला, परम दयाला, परम दयाला, मन मंदिर में दिया उजाला, मंदिर में दिया उजाला, मन मंदिर में दिया उजाला, मंदिर में दिया। राम हरे हरे हरि नाम बोलो। जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, साई नारायण नारायण हरि हरि ओ, नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, अलख निरंजन हरि हरि ओ, असुर निकंदन हरि हरि, अलख निरंजन हरि हरि ओ, असुर निकंदन हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, साई नारायण नारायण हरि हरि ओ, नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, साई नारायण नारायण हरि हरि ओ, अलख निरंजन हरि हरि ओ, असुर निखंडन हरि हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, साई नारायण नारायण हरि हरि ओ, नारायण हरि जय जय नारायण हरि, नारायण हरि जय जय नारायण हरि, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, साई नारायण नारायण हरि हरि ओ, नारायण नारायण हरि हरि, नारायण नारायण हरि।
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् अशीमवहु वहिष्ठेमस्ति उष्टास्ति उष्टाहमय शतशाय वहिष्ठायशि नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि श्मा Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Adonai Echad Adonai Echad. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Thought for the week. The clouds moving in the sky sometimes obscure the sun. It is not possible to remove the clouds. They just come and go. Once the clouds move away, the resplendent sun is fully visible. Similarly, only when the dark clouds of resolution and confusion in our heart are cleared does truth manifest. The Panchabhutas, 5 elements, are natural phenomena in creation. Similarly, the 5 human values of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, and Ahimsa are natural to human beings. One has to manifest them from the heart and lead a natural life. They should flow from the source and not be extracted by force. Truth is pure and unsullied. Love is selfless. We have therefore to lead a selfless life. That is real love. Love does not expect anything in return. Satya Sai Speaks, Volume 39, 2006.